You want to come up here? What the hell you got, man?
I have no idea.
Jeez Louise.
I will be right back.
Oh Lord.
I'm a little stuck. I don't know why.
Flex your X muscle.
Awesome.
Oh,
There you go.
thank you for
I need
that.
protein in me.
Commissioner, can you check your emails after this?
Penis.
What's that now?
Could you check your emails after
He
this?
sounds
and
like
let the
Burton
gentleman
so
know?
much, dude. I
Yeah,
thought he
okay.
was
Of course,
Gingy
we're here.
when I heard that voice. I was like, Gingy? Burton's here?
All right. Start from the bottom to the top. Go ahead, Sergeant. Give your 2 cents.
All right.
It's gonna
All right.
stand.
2 cadets, please come towards the front of the class. Cadet Hart.
Hmm.
Hart.
Sorry.
Cadet, can you not hear the sergeant talking to you?
Oh, no, sir. I can't hear that.
All right, come on up
I'm
here.
showing.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Hey,
So-
the other cadet can come by you. Get on up here.
Sir.
The
There you go. Oh,
take a step back.
Let me
All right,
breathe.
all
Let
right,
me
all right.
breathe.
there you go.
Little space
All
there.
right. So your 1080s. Decent comms. I know without proper lanes of travel, it's a little rough. So the callouts were decent. Okay.
Sir.
The driving was okay. You guys lost eyes a couple times. That's fine. It happens. You know, we ain't gonna get them all, so I'm okay with that. Now the 1070. This also goes towards you, Adelaide. The lack of comms on those two 1070s was outrageous. There was no sense of direction, no sense of landmarks. There was no sense of communication between both chases. When you're on a 1070, you got multiple suspects. Y'all separated into 2 groups. Perfectly fine and understandable. That's a good thing to do. But once you guys started separating, and I was able to take Commissioner hostage, shows that, well, one, you don't put yourself in that predicament. Commissioner took his faith and ran by himself and tried to find me without a weapon drawn. And I believe you were secondary on that, correct, Sky?
Correct.
All right. The lack of comms, he was trying to tell you where he was at. Where were you? I noticed you were on the back side of the fence when you called that you saw me, correct?
Yeah. For some reason, I thought I could go the other way around to catch you off guard, and I didn't realize that fence went all the way through. So then I had to run all the way back around.
Yeah, absolutely understandable. But you want to make sure you communicate that to either the primary of the chase or
I'll
those fellow.
speak up. She did lead the commissioner to that position you were at by calling out behind the yellow tent in the area. So I will say that her comms on that part is the reason why I
No,
interface
correct.
with
I
you.
am not saying that call out was bad. What I am saying is she was nowhere near that fight, even being that she could not get to you nor me from that position.
Yeah, because I was on the
So
other
in
side
a
of the
situation
fence.
like that, what you would want to do in that situation is be like, hey, I see him behind the fence or behind the yellow tent. Don't approach. Let me get back to you. I can't get to you. Give me a chance to regroup because I was stationary. I was not moving.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the commissioner could have set himself up to see both exits on both sides and then allow you time to wrap around. Because essentially, once you ran around, and he came over, I was able to apprehend him. As far as that chase
Understood.
goes, when I then separated, you guys handled the negotiation very well. You did that very well. The only thing I would say is try and communicate a little bit more with the hostage taker. Because there's a point in time where I wasn't even, you weren't talking to me, and I was walking with the commissioner, and you weren't even on radio. You were kind of just kind of looking.
Yeah.
And I get it. First time for everything, it happens. Just be aware. The more you communicate with them, the more their eyes are going to be drawn to you. And when you started communicating, Adelaide actually had a jump on me. I didn't see her behind me.
Mm-hmm.
In that situation, being that I would have been taken by surprise, honestly, if she would have tackled me, that was on me. Every time I looked behind me, I didn't see anybody. When you started talking to me, my attention was drawn to you. And she was actually able to get pretty close to my backside.
Yeah, I noticed her coming in, and I was questioning what to do there, but I didn't want to risk you panicking, or if you were that type of individual, panicking and shooting him. So I just
Absolutely.
rather be the safe route, since I was uncertain on the kind of person you are and how you'd react.
No, correct. You handled that very well. Okay, not taking points off. Just initially, try and communicate a little bit more with that hostage taker. Okay.
Pause.
Outside of that,
I just got hired on this one. I just
think
joined
it
the server
overall was
today.
a pretty good training event. You guys
I've
have
actually
become
had
more
fun.
experience with criminals such as those that I showed you today. The cadet here learned that you can slip cuffs if you're well versed in the getting out of them. Okay, so they're gonna give you a chase if you let them. They're gonna take every
should
inch you give
join.
them. Okay, so be aware of that. Outside of that, I
We're
have
both cadets.
no other marks to give you.
How have you been?
All right.
All right. Okay, so on my end, I had already told this to Cadet Harp. Slow it down. We don't want to be crashing into one another when we're chasing somebody. No. The last thing we want to do is allow for, our mistakes to allow them to get away. Right? But just slow it down. Make sure you're giving space between, vehicles. Other than that, you guys, I think, did great.
I feel like comms
Communication,
were all over the
like,
place. Like he would take over comms. It was a lot.
Just communicating.
What servers
Other
are you
than
on?
that,
I was on Unscripted,
I
but
don't
like
really
it's.
have much.
I want realistic roleplay, Foz. I'm honest with you. I can't.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
It's
tag off the end of that
too
right
much
there.
goofiness. Too much
Listen,
goofiness on all the other
not every
servers.
officer should think they need to be in primary position. All right. If you fall out of primary position, that is understandable. Sometimes we fall into situations where that will happen.
I don't know if he's
If
gonna
your
yell at
secondary
Jasmine
takes
or
primary,
Hart.
allow them to fulfill primary, and you fall back on secondary. All right. We don't want the driven effort of constantly trying to stay in primary, because if we have officers fight for primary position,
Mhm.
that's going to lead to mistakes. Criminals are going to get away. All right. So support your fellow officers, allow them, give them the chance to hold their ground. All right. At the end of the day. Now, I will say, yes, the communications over radio. If you have two individuals that have split officers up on a 1070, all right, we need to understand that, you need to call out primary and secondary. All right. Usually driver will be primary, passengers will be secondary. Okay. Notate that over the radio.
It's so goofy. It's so
Alright.
goofy. I brought
will
Zola
give
there.
Cadet Sky here kudos. As far as not communicating on the radio, she was able to communicate during the 1070 with myself when we were chasing the secondary. Comms were good in that regards. She eventually got herself into a position to where she was able to secure the secondary. All right. So
I just forgot to call
again,
it.
it's all learning curves for us. And we'll grow together as long as we can critique each other and not leave with bad attitudes, and we'll all be good to go. So
Yeah, it's just a little too goofy.
from there,
Like
besides that,
I can't find a server that
again, watch your speed
is
when you're
more
chasing someone,
realistic.
all right?
This server
you don't
may
know
be
if
it.
they're gonna brake check. If they brake check you and you're going 140 miles an hour,
And I have
that's gonna put you in a
SASP.
position to where you're ramming them. Okay.
I have
Some
SASP
criminals,
emotes from Purple
may not take that very lightly.
that I made.
And
this is
if that's not your
SASP.
intention, they may not see
It was
that
meant
as
to
not
be.
your
Look at
intention.
that.
So their reactions may
Look
be
at the
more
color of
aggressive
chat
on that front, and we don't want to put ourselves in a position
with the
where
blue.
lethal is drawn from either side. So let's get them in the cells and book them up before we have to call the coroner or anything like that. You understand?
Understood.
All right then.
Understood, sir.
Okay. Difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause, Cadet Hart.
Sir, reasonable suspicion, we find, on a totality of circumstances, as the case law would put it, it is the legal standard that we use for detainment, and like in a brief, what we call a Terry frisk, it is a later articulable suspicion that a crime has occurred. Probable cause is you have a not a mountain, but a very good cause, a very good probability that a crime has
I
occurred.
always
and
have
you
notes.
who
I have notes on the
also
left-hand side of
you have
everything
also the
from
evidence
like
to back
our
that up. That is the
amendments
standard we
that I
use
had
for
learned
warrants and
on
arrests
Unscripted,
and search warrants.
which I actually studied and learned, but I've
Um,
already slowly forgotten them.
You will find that
Uh,
at under Title 2 of the Criminal Procedure Code. I think that should be Chapter 7
Huh?
that goes into the different burdens of proof. But I
What?
might be wrong on the chapter.
What?
Okay.
What?
One of y'all could ask a question.
Can you repeat that?
I said one of these guys could ask y'all a question.
Mm.
Is he a trooper, the gentleman over there? I don't know who that is. Is he cadet as well?
About me.
That's Trooper Rivera, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yes, sir, it is. I'm a trooper.
The server's only a month old, so a lot of things are being fit. Honestly, like I had an issue with the
Real
application.
quick one off
and
the
I'm like,
hip there, Cadet Guy. Which common case law covers the Fifth Amendment?
Miranda rights. I mean, sorry. Arizona versus Miranda.
There you go. Ding. You got money.
I said Miranda rights, and then I thought of the '80s server.
All right, I got nothing. I mean, if you guys are privy on, again, I don't need robot officers. All right, I don't need full explanations. If you have an understanding of the case laws,
I knew that
understanding